Welcome to Spiritism at Noon by the Spiritist Group of New York. We are currently studying, reflecting upon the book that is called Empty Lives, written by the Spirit Joanna de Angelis in collaboration with Divaldo Franco. We are on chapter 28, Blessed Days. And as we always like to remind everyone, each chapter is a different subject. So, in case you miss it, other uh, studies, you just have can go to them in our YouTube and watch them. Okay. So, just a second while I wait. Um, we start by reading and then we do our comments. Blessed days. These are harsh days in the moral evolution of humanity, caught in the scourge of suffering. Cruel pain is widespread everywhere, whether disguised or not, demonstrating the bankruptcy of the illusory passions that delude human beings. The noble achievements of culture and technology, dazzling in their greatness, have not been able to modify the moral structure of the planet, crush it under incessant blows of unspeakable woes. The capabilities and glories of intelligence pale before the moral aberrations and the torments that have taken hold of everyone. People have believed that outer acquisitions can placate their inner anguish or and needs. Progress, with its unique strength, has reduced the shadows of ignorance and has projected light into the chasm that superstition and chance try to explain in a magical way, building bridges of false interpretations. The crass expressions of primitivism have been overcome. However, contemptible behavior continues to demonstrate its ill effects. Anarchy philosophies promote the incessant enjoyment of the physical senses, while delusional multitudes swarm in the swan plans of spiritual blindness. Vile concepts are presented by cynical materialism and break up the family to promote new tribes composed of drug dependent, ill behaved individuals. The barbarity of the destruction of ethical values engaged in a shameful battle against order and duty threatens today's civilization with the victory of chaos and violence. Hordes of such individuals keep the banners of desolation and wild pleasure held high, pushing toward the dens of madness. Fans of the destruction of ethical behaviors say that nothingness is the only thing that makes sense, and that surrendering to heinousness is the solution, ending in alienation and suicide. Dense darkness dominates the moral and spiritual landscapes of the terrestrial planet. Threats of war promote guerrilla warfare and household and social hatred in countries that serve as battlefields for both powerful and starving nations to slaughter lives and cultures. It seems like an existential return to the instinct dominated early days of anthropological evolution. So it's interesting that Joanna de Angelis start this chapter that she calls Blessed Days with such a picture, right? Where she presents the development that we have been undergoing in our planet, starting from primitive age, that of course will impact us very much. And the thing is, when she's talking about the evolution of humankind, she points out here that we have been going tremendous technological culture advancements, things that came to ease our lives so much, right? Even today here in New York City, it's so cold outside, snowing nonstop, and we have the the possibility of having heater, clothes that will keep us warm, all of those things that are the result of research, science, technology, everything to make our lives so much easier. But when we try to look and compare the let's say material physical advancements that we have in our planet, uh, in relation to the moral advancements, it doesn't seem that we have done our homework. um, we see that regardless of uh, everything that we are have been receiving and discovering, has not impacted our behavior, our moral behavior that much. Of course, she doesn't mean to say, and it would be very unfair for us to think otherwise, that moral progress has not happened. We could have several examples in showing how much we are evolving in terms of, since the beginning of times, the relationship among peoples and lands and etc. Of course, we are each time more learning and becoming more moral and ethical individuals. But in comparison to what we had before, um, or in terms of what we have in material terms, it doesn't seem that much. And we see people, individuals that insist in maintaining, this kind of primitive behavior. And and I mean, they speak loud. They scream, um, and and they sometimes can be very convincing in making people believe that humanity has no solution. And I think this is more to the point on what she's trying to show us. When we think about losing our hearts, believing that there is no solution. Look, from the primitive caveman to today, it doesn't seem that we have evolved that much. And this is not the case. We know that. And so if you would like to comment or question anything at this point before we continue. No. Okay, let's read a little bit more. So in that vortex, almost everyone is bewildered and stumble over the obstacles that the wicked have become. So we are all impacted by the negativity, by what, ill-intentioned people are still doing on this planet. Humanity is on the brink, and its cry of pain hardly finds support or help. However, in the midst of so much negligence and desolation, selfless spirits are working for the preservation of the good and the maintenance of the noble ideals in life. The mercy of God never ceases to send the resources of love and hope to the dreadful strongholds of suffering in order to mitigate them and promote the correction of nefarious behaviors. Blessings bloom in rotten corners, and vegetation of light is reborn in lands overcome by plagues and aggression, so that goodness and benevolence will live on. The good, banished by despots, and virtuous, scorned by the tormented, persist and silently oppose the wave of cynicism that dominates the masses. This is a key point in this passage, in this message that she brings to us, because quite often we feel that we are abandoned, that we look around and we feel that there is no good in this world, there is no one, nothing to put it right. And it's not true. This is what she's stating here, that the mercy of God never ceased to send us resources in terms of love and hope, and in terms of strength, in terms of gathering knowledge and understanding. Unfortunately, even when we have all those resources, like being living antennas ourselves, we attune with the stations, uh, they are more in tune with how we feel. And this is why many times, regardless of, goodness being there, staring us in the face, we don't see it, because we don't look for the best in people. We always look for the worst in people. How many times we say about someone that we know, oh, look what this person did. I knew that person was not that good. You see, instead of, and we say the person was not that good, meaning we thought that the person was that good, had so many virtues, but now the person shows one bad side, and all the rest that is good, we don't see it anymore. So this is our tendency of, believing more in bad than in good, and recognizing more bad than good. And when we see good, many times, what do you say? Oh, this person cannot be that good, or probably is faking. It's just a facade. I mean, we try our utmost to remove goodness from the world. Oh, things are good now, but let's wait another week and let's talk about it. When periods of tranquility, when we are going through periods of tranquility, we say, oh, I don't know, it's been good, but I'm sure it's going to mess up along the way. This is how we are, but we do not need to be like this. This is the case. We do not need to be like this. We can be, or we can become, the ones on the opposite side of all this mess that we see around us. Any question or comment?
I,
Yes.
I just love this, what you just went through, how much we have been noticing all negative almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, we have to understand that if we keep ourselves focused, just like Joanna de Angelis is explaining to us, we realize what's going on in the world. But if we have a sense of understanding the moral side of our lives, spiritually and morally, and understand the studying that is so important to keep us focused, that when we turn on that TV or read or everywhere we look through our lives, the windows of desperation, of pain and suffering, okay, we see it. But there is, like you said, there is good in the world. You don't even have to look for it. You could be anywhere and a person will come to you and smile, give you a nice smile, or tell you how are you, or excuse me, thank you. There's always so much good that is happening, but we're not aware of it. We're so conscientious of what's going on in the negative side of the world, and it is happening. We can't make believe it's not happening, but we have to keep ourselves focused. That I just got the new book of Good News. Where this book is so. I wish everyone would get it as soon as they can. It is all going back to when Jesus was here, the enlightenment, the understanding, and every incident that happens, you see the miracles that happen, and it brings joy to your heart. You have to keep yourself in positive form and intellectually understand what's going on. But then if we don't have this, we have the lack of moral and spiritual blindness, she calls it, then how are we gonna get ourselves out of this situation of thinking, reflecting the worst things in life, that there are good things in life. We have to work at it, seek for it, and see. And it's not as, I mean, look, we think of the wars that's going on, the suffering that goes on, the pain, of course, but let's do a little more. Let's do more praying and have faith in our God, that he knows what he's given us. And we have to work at it. It is work, 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 work. There's no stopping at this, and keep ourselves with an open mind and open heart, that our God is with us. Jesus, our Father, is always with us. How could we? Well, if we don't know, then we can't get the understanding. So, we do our part. Just work at it. Each and every person here today, work at it, and it'll spread. The prayers do help, and the faith. So
Yeah. Sonia?
Yes, then 2 weeks ago, I was with one person, and she was with no hope at all about humanity. Then only look at the bad side for everything. And in one moment, I tried to show her there are some good things too. It's not only bad things. There are some good. And then she accusing me I was blind. I'm not able to see about the bad things. Then in the sentence here says about to be in silence, the good being silence. And after I tried to say something good, the next step was I be in silence. I was being in silence because I saw what I asked myself, what can I say more than this? I'm not able to change their mind. And it was so frustrating. I don't know. Yeah, then I couldn't do anything because I always believe I should say something good. I should show person about there are one good path you can take. Right? For some people, it's so difficult. They cannot have any hope in good. And not easy at all.
Oh. Orlando, open your mic. Just open your mic. Open your microphone, Orlando. It's mute. No, it's still mute. Let me see.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting used to this again. Okay, this is very important. Yeah, this particular topic, uh, I'm very surprised that coming back to the group, this issue is brought up. It's an everyday issue that I'm very concerned. And I wanted to ask you a question, but before that, I just want to say that regarding all that has been said on the topic, this is an issue that I have. Uh, in other words, I blame the process of reincarnation for uh, the bad spirits that are causing so much damage and harm and suffering in this life. Now, once I spoke to you about this topic some years ago, and you told me that the spirit world are now sending bad spirit to another colony or another place, and you told me about the book that deals with that. I would like to uh, know that. Also, I'm trying to bring bring justice to the spirit world by gathering a group of philosophers and other people and really scrutinize and hold the best spirit or the reincarnation process responsible for the way that we live life.
Considering all the comments, it's you know how easy it is, right? Even in this incarnation, for us to forget about the goodness the that we had experienced. It's just us having one as a little adversity coming our way for us to go into a negative state of mind, saying that oh, everything is bad, look how the world is bad. And I mean, we are now, and I think this is it. Now I understand why she started the way she started this chapter. Uh, it's like she's inviting us to look back in time and look how horrible were life conditions in, millennia ago. Now you have what you can consider almost being everything. Also, consider to what the other, the primitive people didn't have. Look at everything that you have now. And you still behave like whining children, filled with whims. And if it doesn't go my way, it's the bad way. And complaining and making a pact with the wicked, or people that have no concerns whatsoever, because they seem that they are getting better in life than the others that are honest, sincere, and follow in the right path. So this is what we have been doing. That's why, regardless of all the gifts, the generosity, the mercy of God that we have been receiving, we is still ungrateful spirits. And we do not do our part. We believe that, it's like you receive a palace to live in, complete, furnished, beautiful, clean, palace. And then you go there. And first thing we will say is probably, yeah, this palace is very good, but it's going to give me a lot of trouble to keep it on clean. I'll have to have a lot of work to maintain it, right? Aren't we this way sometimes? And like we got a pet, we got a dog or a cat, I don't know, and then we say, oh, it's so cute, it's wonderful, it's going to bring light to my life. Oh, but I'm going to have so much work. I have to walk the dog, I have to take to the vet, and things like that. So you are in this palace, you got everything for free. But if you do not maintain it, if you keep yourself as you are, very soon what we are going to be seeing, a completely destructive building. It's no longer remain the way it was. And whose fault is that? I gave you all the structure, all the possibilities to make your life easier. But if we don't change ourselves, whether we live in a palace or we live in the slums, it's the same. On the contrary, sometimes we go to very poor houses. They don't have anything, but whatever they have is clean, is taken care of. It shows the quality of the spirit that inhabits those places. So here we are with all these gifts that were bestowed to us, and we are still being whining children. It's never enough. And I'm going to do my way. I'm going to impose my way. I don't want the good things. It seems that the good doesn't get reward, so I'm going to go through a different path. And this is what we are doing. But it's time for us to wake up. Let's read just a little more and then we comment. After the death of Jesus, it was felt that evil had triumphed, that it had defeated the truth and the good. The disoriented disciples did not know what to do. On a gentle dawn, the night of anxiety over, he returned and restored enthusiasm and courage to wounded hearts. His voice renewed their hope, and his presence gave them security. Likewise, in these days of misunderstandings and negligence, a clear dawn of renewal is breaking, and immortals are returning to support weary and continuously challenged servants. Their voices call for the experience of love. They fight for the new era of peace, prepared to take part in grave conflicts. They suffer, but understanding the reasons. They do not retreat before the heinous traps that are put in their way. They continue to defeat their bad inclinations and bouncing back after upsetting relapses. They are already at work, which infuriates their opponents who delight in their own misfortune. Certain about their glorious destiny, they are pillars for constructing the future of justice and love. Do not worry about the pitfalls and challenges of this time. Persist in the activity that gives meaning to your existence. Today's apparent loss is tomorrow's certain victory. You are a messenger of Jesus Christ, so do not question his help and protection. Attune yourself to him. The Lord is with you and will never leave you alone. He is the same as yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Note that he did not triumph in the world of illusions, but overcame all existing fantasies and lures. He was with us. He shared in our flaws and passions without becoming like us. He has remained the guide and model to be followed at all times. Crowning those days of longing after his death, Jesus appeared in Galilee to 500 disciples, asking them to be reborn and then return to set the kingdom of God in people's hearts. So let yourself be governed by the message that he entrusted to you and make these days blessed for the happy humanity of tomorrow. So here, uh, she shows how much we still need guidance, right? And giving the example of the death of Jesus and all the ones that were following him and believing in him, they actually were uh, completely lost. They didn't know what to do. And what can we do now that Jesus is gone? And then we know that Jesus appeared to them and talked to them several times, uh, and until the last time that he appeared to 500 people in Galilee, and he gave also instructions on how to proceed. So that was, let's say, in those times, the less visible experience of Jesus, the last experience of Jesus they had in their times. But what Joanna de Angelis is saying here, Jesus never left us. We may not see him, but he's here. He's in charge of this planet. He's in charge of each one of us. He's got our guide, the one that says, go through this way or that way. But because he walks the walk, he's not just the guide. He is the model because he lived as he guides us. So he says, do that, but first he does that. Or sometimes he doesn't even say what we have to do. He just say, I am the path, the truth, and the life. So follow me. So it is the same thing. So here, I mean, every time the invitation that Joanna de Angelis is giving to us here is, do not ourselves be dominated by the sorrows of everything that I am going through with us. We are enduring now, and our planet and countries and everyone is going through. It's part of the growing pains, like she says here. Spirits have been, I mean, it couldn't be more clear here. A clear dawn of renewal is breaking, and immortals are returning to support weary and continuously challenged servants. So what she's saying here, there are many spirits that are coming back to deserve that, let's say, they have already graduated, right? At least high school. We are still in the first years of school, to guide us, to give us support. Because, Jesus knows that those that have goodwill need assistance as well, need guidance as well. So these are the ones that will be constantly renewing our hope and faith and joy of living, and saying, wait, be patient, persist, because things are going to change for sure. Don't doubt it. It's just a matter of time. But unfortunately, the ones that are playing with time are us. It's us. We are the ones playing with time. How many times we procrastinate in doing something that we know it has to be done, and it keeps us bothering us because I know I have to do that, but maybe later or maybe tomorrow. Oh my God, is another week I didn't do that. So we suffer with this procrastination for no reason when we could just, stand up, go there, do it. Poof, the problem is gone, right? Any comments or questions?
Sarah,
Yes.
you mentioned us, and I'm thinking, but what about the reincarnated spirit? You know, we are we are like humans, and also we are spirits, and I'm surprised that I think he once told us that I don't know if we told our mistakes and we are reincarnated again to improve, but and it doesn't work that way that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that is the process, Orlando. It's a school,
It is
okay?
what?
A school.
Yeah.
We are in a school. Planet Earth is a school for us. And very much like when we go to school, it's better if we comply with the rules, with the things that we have to do there, be a good student, and then we will be graduating. But the thing is, I don't like this teacher. I don't like the method. The teacher meaning the pain, okay, that
Yeah.
I brought to myself. Is not a person teacher. The teacher is is our family. I don't like this family. I would prefer having had another family. Are you sure? You know, we don't know what is the life of other people. I mean, we go from the world of appearances, and we do not see the pains that these people go through. How many examples we have of celebrities, right? Huge celebrities. I mean, that one is coming to my mind now, Whitney Houston. I mean, look how she died. And I mean, the pain that she had. And we look and say, oh my God, I wish I could be Whitney Houston. Really? Because for her to go through what she did and had a death like she had, I mean, this is just because she was famous. She had a wonderful voice. And there are so many examples that we see of imbalance in in every uh, part of our society, the rich, the poor, the smart, the intellectuals, the everyone. There is no one that it doesn't go through pain and challenges. So life being a school, instead of complaining, you know what? I don't like this teacher, okay? This experience. But the thing is, the more we resist to go through that, the longer this teacher will be there in our lives. When we learn the lesson, bye bye, teacher. I don't need you anymore. Okay. I go to the next challenge. I go to the next phase. I go to a different experience. And that's how it is. And this is what Joanna de Angelis is saying here. God has been so merciful, has been providing you with countless opportunities to to be in a much happier stage in life than you are now. It's about time you do something about yourself, because I gave you a palace to live on. Now you are in charge of maintaining it, of doing your part. And this is what we have to do here. Uh, Count our blessings and do the work that we have to do within ourselves.
Yusara,
Yes.
I'm trying to keep quiet. One quick question. I love your open mind and how you express yourself. My question now is, what what happened to the spirit of Hitler and other military pers persons committing so much crime? I mean,
Mm.
what happened? I mean, do they keep sending them back to see if they learned their lesson or
According
what?
to the law of, the natural laws, the laws of God, the universe, what happens is everyone has the chance to become better. But if you do not become better, you will have you will be, matched with planets that have your moral condition. So, as far as we know, those people that we consider, especially in recent times, because in centuries, millennia ago, they had time to get better. But especially in recent times, they no longer have the same frequency as planet Earth. So they will go to a planet, probably a primitive one, and we'll have to start all over again in very difficult conditions.
Right. Just
This is, I mean, it's a general idea that we have,
yeah.
okay?
But just it's very important. This is what I remember you telling me, and I want to know. You told me where to find this topic in what book. Which book was it that you told me that relates to what you just explained?
Okay, there is one book that we have in the Spirit, the United States Spiritist Federation, that we
Yes,
have released a couple years ago, is called Light Ahead.
right ahead.
Light Ahead. And
Yes,
there is one message there. There is called Spiritist Conscience, that gives an example of what we are talking about now.
right. Where do I get
Uh,
this book? How do I get it?
at the website, spiritist.us.
Right. Okay.
Spiritist.us, you will find the bookstore there, and you can get it.
Thank you. This is so
Or we
important.
have there at the Spiritist Center as well.
Good.
Uh,
I'm so
okay.
happy now. Yes.
Yeah, great. But there are many. I think many other books. It's not coming to my mind right now that talks about situation. Um, Now we have a chance to define where we are going to be next. Is it going to be in a better planet Earth, or we have to go to a more primitive planet? So it's our choice. Sonia, you were going to say something, or Zoraida? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so I really love this lesson, because instead, I mean, you know that I have this tendency, okay? I And of course, the Spirit Joanna de Angelis, she doesn't bring this knowledge uh, to put us down, saying she's like a mother that has to educate us. I mean, there is time to cuddle, but there is time that I have to go to you and say, my child, look, think about it, reflect about everything, all the blessings that you have. And you are only focusing on the negative. You are only, filling your hearts with pain, with discouragement, with negativity. It's no longer time to do that. Believe, because it's going to change. Look back. Look how much has changed. And this is nothing compared to what we will have as soon as we understand that we are the ones, baking the cake. We received the ingredients, and now it's time for us to, to mix all of them, put it in the oven, and enjoy. Okay. All right. So I think that we can finish now.